Well, Pettifleur from the Real Housewives of Melbourne, I actually can't believe you're sitting in front of me. You look absolutely stunning.
Thank you. In the flesh. I'm so pleased to be here.
It is beautiful to see you in the flesh because you have a persona of somebody on TV, and then when you meet them in real life, I actually think you look younger.
Oh, thank you.
You're smaller. Everything, and absolutely stunning tonight. So thank you for your time.
I get told that all the time.
Do you?
I look smaller and younger and teeny tiny.
Well, this season we've noticed that you've turned into a sexy hot mama. You've lost weight and you've toned up. Talk us through the process of that.
Basically, when I saw myself from last season, I go, my gosh, who is that fat chick? I shouldn't say that, right? But I looked at myself and I really could see myself from the other side, from the outside. I'm like, whoa, I put on a lot of weight because I've never known me to be, you know, like that was 4 kilos, but because I'm so tiny, it went all around my arms and my bust, and I look pretty big. And I thought, I've got to do something about this because this is just not me. I didn't feel comfortable and I didn't look really, you know, on point. So I thought, I got to go and shape up. So I did. And when I put my mind to something, I just go for it. And there's nothing halfway. When I commit 100%. So when I took on the challenge of, you know, toning up and looking as amazing as I can with what I can do, to the extent I can do it, I just went for it. So I'm really grateful for the results. And you know what? At no age should you say to yourself, you can't do it. Because, I mean, look at me, I'm an example of being 51 and, you know, making sure your diet's great, your exercise is regular, and, you know, drinking a lot of water and really living peacefully. That's the main thing.
Well, you look 10 years younger.
Thank you.
I can't believe you said that. When you talk about food and exercise, what specifically do you mean? Because in the show you had a trainer. We saw that on the show.
I had a trainer. So she basically kickstarted me into the training part of it. Because let me tell you, I always trained.
Right.
But I had a layer of pasta, you know, over my muscles. The muscles were there. Just the layers of fat was covering it. So I had no issues with the training. It's just the eating. I had to change my diet and what I put into my mouth and how often I put it into my mouth. So my trainer basically helped me to get back into that space that I used to be in when I used to, you know, eat cleanly. So 8 weeks she kick-started me, and now I'm on my own. Like I have a trainer now, but you know, I'm not training so vigorously like I did with her. I'm just cruising with, you know, everyday training, or you know, at least 4 or 5 days, and good eating. But I, you know, do some naughty eating on the side too. I mean, I'm not going to say I live my life with, you know, fruit and vegetable and celery. I do have a little bit of chocolate and...
The occasional wine?
No, I've actually dropped... That's the one thing I don't miss. I've dropped the alcohol, and I would pick it up without any issue. The problem is I don't like the taste anymore. So I think, why would I want to have this when I'm not enjoying the taste? So it's a good thing, but you know, it's not like I am a slave to it or I need it in my life. I started only, you know, around 40, 41 when I started, you know, having my first real drink, you know, like properly enjoying it. I used to not be a big drinker prior to that. And I used to be a social drinker. So for me to like give it up was no big deal, contrary to what people may think. And I don't care about their thinking, because I know me, and you wouldn't be able to keep this type of shape, youthful body look if you were, you know, just wrecking your body through alcohol and, you know, horrible stuff. So I've always looked after my body. To be honest, like, muscles don't grow on a 51-year-old woman in overnight. You have to always have had it before, you know, you can start to get muscle now. So these were always there. They were just covered up.
So the six-pack and everything is there?
Six-pack was always there. It was just covered up.
A lot of people on social media always ask me, ask Pettifleur how she actually got into the show. Can you talk us through that process?
Sure. A girlfriend put my name forward to the producers, and they got in touch with me. And true story, I had an email from the producers in first season seated in my inbox for 2 months before I even noticed it. And I freaked out. I'm thinking, what the hell? How can you miss an email like this? Anyway, I contacted the person, and she said, thanks for contacting me. We'll get in touch with you. Season 2 was filmed, and season 1 was filmed. And season 2 came along and she called me.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. Luckily for us.
But it was a good thing that I missed that email, because I am a huge believer that things are not meant to happen when they're not meant to happen.
Sure.
And things will come to you at the right time. If I had committed the year before, I wouldn't have been able to give it what I can give it now.
Right.
And that is finishing writing that book, because I was in the thick of writing the book, and I was also doing a massive property development project.
Right, okay.
I couldn't have dropped it and committed to the Housewives had I gone into that first season.
Well, it's about timing.
So I'm here, I'm in second season, and now we've just finished third season, so...
Now, talking about switch the bitch.
Yes.
Have you switched the bitch?
I have switched the bitch. The reason I've been able to switch the bitch and stay positive is because I've written the book. I've taken
Right.
all the don'ts and I put it in that book.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not forcing anyone to read it, but I can guarantee you, if you read it, you will get, if not just about everything, you will at least get one thing that you can take away from that book, but also realize that you can change your behavior. This book is about, the title may be, in your face. But this book is really about switching the bitch. As the title says, I have no idea why people are confused with that part. It's not being a bitch. It's actually saying switch the bitch.
Yeah.
So I'm very confused. But it's about really not looking for someone on the outside to give you the validation or the love and the affection, but for you to be able to give it to yourself.
Right.
It's a really empowering book, and I've got so many fan mail, people from all over the world calling me or emailing me or Facebooking me to tell me how amazing and how it's changed their life.
So with your book, Switch the Bitch, the rumour mill was in full swing, something about a lawsuit.
It sounds like a bigger than, big deal, but really someone was trying to get some publicity.
Right.
Without mentioning names, all publicity is good publicity, and I was a sucker there. So there was a huge talk about the book having a similar title to someone else's title.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me tell you, firstly I need to educate people who don't know. A title cannot be plagiarized. Okay, I can write another book with the exact same title and give it a different context. Hence the reason where there's 20 odd copies of Fearless out there.
Yeah.
So that alone proves that you can have that title. My title, however, is the only title in the world, and I own it. So I have no idea what the issue was. However, people like to take, the bull by the horns and run with it. So I get a letter from a lawyer from the States. I had to engage a lawyer to chase that up to see what the big deal was. Because I said, look, I have no issue here. I'm not worried about it. I know my rights and I have nothing, to fear. But however, I needed to know that what's this letter about? You wouldn't just, put a letter aside. And it came back saying, we don't know who sent you the letter, and we don't claim responsibility for sending this letter from our offices. So it ended up being just a fake somebody.
A storm in a teacup.
Storm in a teacup. And you know what? Had I known then, oh my God, I'd have milked it for everything. Why would I have not thought about that then? I had so many interview offers about it, and I couldn't be bothered. It's like, no, I put this book out there for people to take something out of it. I put it out of my money, the goodness of my heart, to enhance people, to enrich people, and to help them do what I've done for my life, to be able to be as strong, as amazing as I am, and fully in control and focused in my life. Now, if that's going to have a repercussion of tormenting me and me having to deal with things, I don't want to know it. I've done my thing and it's out there.
So what you're saying is it came from a positive place, but people wanted to put it into a negative space.
Correct, absolutely. It was very, I mean, it was trying to get some publicity, I would say. I mean, it could be the other author, it could be, you know, it came from the States, or it could be someone who's just trying to get some buzz.
Yeah.
And bugger, I should have done it. I should have gone and cried on TV and been such a drama queen, but not, because I'm not like that.
Pettifleur, I love your blog. What made you want to do something like that where you've got people freely commenting?
Interesting you ask. The audience sees, you know, a perception from the girls and how we act and what we say. But there's a lot more to what the audience sees, and I want to give them a little bit of insight on the behind the scenes and my opinion, really, because at the end of the day we don't always get to see every single person's opinion. Correct. Or the opinion might be a little bit different to how I want it to come across. So when I'm writing, and when I'm writing as Pettifleur, the person behind the words, then I stand by what I'm writing and I give a true, honest account and opinion to the viewer.
Right.
So I took to the blog and I'm writing some truths, and some of the girls don't like it. But hey, you know, you signed up for this, and it's my opinion.
Now, I'm going to name some of the housewives' names, and I want you to tell me in one sentence or less exactly how you feel about that person. So are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Give it to me.
I'm going to start off with Lydia.
Lydia is very funny, not malicious, but gossips without thinking.
Okay. Janet.
Dangerous, two-faced.
Gina.
Gina is all about Gina, and the rest can go to hell.
Jackie.
She's not genuine, she's not real.
Right.
And people who walk into a room and say, I don't lie, are the biggest liars themselves, because
Often,
you cannot walk in and say, I don't lie ever. Hey, I lie to my children. I say I'm coming home at 3 o'clock and I come home at 2 o'clock. We all lie.
Yeah.
So if you walk around saying I don't lie, then you're the biggest liar.
Yeah.
And she's got caught lying many times. So to me, I don't like people like that. Just be honest, be authentic. I can't find enough words in the vocabulary of English to explain how I would describe Jackie.
Recently you were in Dubai. How was that whole experience for you?
The Dubai experience was one to never forget. I thought I was going with a group of really close friends, good women, and I came away with a total different opinion about with the friends I thought was really, you know, my good friends. I was disappointed, but I usually tell myself that I'm going to let them own that behavior. That's not the way I would behave, and they can own that behavior and they can think about how they behave towards me, and if it sits well in within themselves, then that's fine, but I'm not owning that behavior. Having written my book, I've also learned to walk away.
Yeah.
And you can't change the world. You
No.
can't change other people's behavior. The only person you can change is you. And because I am a firm believer that the only person I can change is me, I know how to change my attitude towards them to make it a calm, easy place for me to live in. So that's how I look at my girlfriends.
What is it you love about Melbourne? You're a real housewife. You've been here since your late teens and 20s. So what is it you love most in your heart about Melbourne?
I'm not homegrown in Melbourne. But let me tell you, when I put my foot on this soil, it felt like home.
Okay.
Don't ask me how, don't ask me why. It just felt right. And I have loved it ever since. I travel a ton. But let me tell you, there's no place like home. When you come to Melbourne, it's you just feel beautiful. Like, there's beautiful cities around the world, but Melbourne is so livable.
Yes.
I'm very blessed. I live in the middle of the CBD, with lots of beautiful restaurants and coffee shops and everything at my fingertips. Theatres, you name it. You can't go past Melbourne's culture.
Yeah.
We're so good with our food, and there's a lot to Melbourne that the world doesn't have to offer. We are blessed with all these cultures that we embrace.
Yes.
And because of the fact that we embrace so many cultures, we are blessed with all the culture, with their food and their drink, and so we have to embrace and be fortunate we're in this position.
I think they'll have to put you in a new advertising campaign. You can be the new Lara Bingle.
I could.
And invite people to Melbourne. Well, finally, Pettifleur, thank you very much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Can you tell us what's coming up on the Real Housewives of Melbourne, maybe a next season, and any gossip?
Fourth season has not been announced.
Right.
If a fourth season does happen, which I'm pretty sure it would, I mean, we've got a massive amount of followers and viewers, and we're doing great TV. I mean, I would watch it, you know, if I was not on the show, and I do, but it's a sensational series, and the producers are doing an exceptional job.
Yeah.
I can't see, you know, not doing a fourth season, and I'm still in contract, and if I do come back, which I'm hoping to, I would be taking it another notch.
I mean, Housewives of Melbourne is one of the highest rating housewives throughout the world.
It is.
It is.
So blessed to be part of it.
Well, Pettifleur, we really look forward to you taking it up a notch, and thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did. You can go and order Pettifleur's book, Switch the Bitch, by visiting her website, pettifleur.com. Well, I'm Shane Davidson, and this is Celebrity TV Down Under. We'll see you next time.